See, this is the thing that I keep coming back to when it comes to that Call Her Daddy interview, because it sucks to feel like that we as fans care more about the interpretation of this writing and how these books are going to go than the author herself does. Like all of that shit about like, oh, it's not that deep. It just, why are you saying it's not that deep? We were giving you credit that apparently you didn't deserve. Also, apologies in advance for the ambient noise. I am walking. I like to walk to my destinations now. The weather's starting to warm up, so I'm just like, fuck it. I'm just gonna walk everywhere. Like, fuck a Metro card. I'm just gonna walk everywhere until the buses are free. I do think a very interesting moment in that Call Her Daddy interview was when Sarah just kind of didn't really speak on the shit that happened in Akasif with Rhysand and Feyre's pregnancy. Which again, as a disclaimer, I have never been pregnant. I have never been in a position what Feyre or Rhysand was at any point in my life. Like, I know I haven't been through that life experience, but I don't think you need to be through that life experience to know that if a man keeps that kind of like visceral health related information about yourself and your child, and because of that death pact himself, that is more than just a bad call, especially when Rhysand is doing this as part of a pattern of behavior. This is not the first time that he has kept some kind of bullshit important information away from Feyre. And I feel like with something like Aquar, it was a little bit different because Rhysand was lying and not telling Feyre shit. But the narrative called it out, and he did apologize. And he did, I don't know if he like made up for it, especially not with Akasif, but he did attempt to make amends. And Aquar Rhysand is my favorite Rhysand because of that. So when Sarah says some shit like, oh, I wrote him doing that as a way to be like, Rhysand doesn't know everything. He screws up and then he makes up for it and he acknowledges the fuck up. Okay, fine. Or at least it would have been if it hadn't been part of a long established pattern of behavior with Rhysand. But also, he never apologized for it on page. Feyre got to hear the apology. We don't know what he said. For all we know, he said some shit like, I'm sorry you feel that way. And this is a thing with Sarah's writing. She'll write something egregious that one of her men have done, and then it'll be like, it's not that deep. Then why did you write it as a pattern of behavior? If Rhysand was the kind of morally gray book boyfriend whose main thing wasn't lying and deception, if anything, maybe his flaw is that he's too honest. And then for this one moment where he finds out something horrible is going to happen to his wife and child and himself, then for the first time ever, he lies to his wife as a way to spare her feelings because he's never done that before. And then he realizes, like, okay, like, this is not the time to lie. That would make way more sense than what happened. Because not only would it show that Rhysand was capable of learning and growing, he would need to learn and grow again because of the overcorrection. But as we know, this doesn't happen. Rhysand does have a long standing pattern of lying to Feyre, and then he continues to lie to Feyre about her own medical shit. And then all we really get is an off-page apology that we don't even know if it happened. Like, that's bullshit. And we're thinking as fans, maybe this is so egregious that Sarah will address it and she will make it in the writing so that this doesn't sit in the heart so badly. But then she does that thing where it's like, oh no, it's not that deep. Rhysand just made a mistake and he just needs to learn from it. Okay, then why doesn't Tamlin get that same courtesy? Like, yes, Tamlin is ACOTAR's quintessential poster boy abusive boyfriend. Rhysand is the guy who saved Feyre, blah, blah, blah. But just because Rhysand never, like, exploded and physically harmed Feyre, well, actually, he did physically harm Feyre, but that's ACOTAR 1 shit. Like, I'm getting somewhere, I promise. Like, yes, the stuff that Tamlin did in ACOMAF and ACOWAR are abusive. The stuff that Rhysand did in ACOTAR 1 before their relationship was established and Rhysand's, like, good guy heel face turn or whatever, that stuff was also abusive, even if it had a reason. That being said, withholding medical history, being a fucking liar every step of the way, that's also abusive. So if Rhysand gets the off-page apology pass, why doesn't Tamlin even get a shot at redemption? Because according to Sarah and Call Her Daddy, he doesn't really deserve it. which truly is unhingedness, because my personal book boyfriend Jurian does get the narrative pass. This man, in his successful attempt to free the slaves, seduces a woman, chops her up into tiny pieces, and spreads her everywhere. He plays the spy like Tamlin. He says a lot of insane shit, the way Tamlin did in Akawar. But as soon as it's revealed that he's a spy, the narrative forgives him. Which, speaking personally, they better. He's my book boyfriend, and I could not take the slander, considering that a lot of people in this fandom have no idea who he is. It is just the height of double standardness that Rhysand and Jurian get the pass for off-page apologies. Honestly, I don't even think Jurian apologized at all. I think he was like, "You're an idiot for not realizing I was a spy." Tamlin does make amends. He makes amends in some of the same scenes that Jurian makes amends. But the narrative refuses to forgive him, probably because Sarah is framing Tamlin the way that her friends frame Tamlin, as the quintessential abusive boyfriend, the effigy for all of their exes. And I just find it kind of interesting, but also sad, that the fans of ACOTAR, some of them, are viewing Tamlin with more nuance than his creator does.